it's Amanda. Here's another video. Today we're talking about my Agile story. How did I go from teacher to Scrum Master? Stay tuned. So, as you all know, in my previous career, I was a teacher. To be honest, I thought I was going to be a teacher for life, okay? I was going to retire after 30 years and then go back and be a substitute teacher 2 days a week while I do all my other hobbies the rest of the day. Then the pandemic happened. And my school district was virtual for 13 months from March 2020 to April 2021. In April 2021, we went back for like the 1 or 2 months of school for standardized testing, and then boom, summer. And then August 2021, we are back in school full-time, face-to-face. I don't really know what changed from pre-March 2020 to post-August 2021, but something shifted, and not for the better. I don't know, sometimes I think I'm crazy. Like, it's clear that the shift happened nationwide, which has prompted this whole great resignation, especially for teachers. There's like a teacher mass exodus happening. One thing that really opened my eyes was one of my favorite former colleagues ended up resigning in November of 2021, and she was one of the best teachers that I've ever worked with. She was innovative. She had all of the grants, all of the awards, but by November, enough was enough. She transitioned to a non-profit teacher development company, and that was just like a huge wake-up call for me. Like, what? I don't have to be miserable? I can be respected and trusted as a professional? Wow. From that point, I had to become really self-aware of how this school year was affecting me. I had to determine if this profession was even sustainable anymore. I literally started teaching at 23. Before that, I was in college for education and working at a preschool, all preparing for this life in service of children. My entire adult life has been defined as me being a teacher. That's the only identity that I had as an adult. By January of 2022, earlier this year, things just got progressively worse. Usually by October, my classroom was hitting like the thriving mark of the school year. Like, everyone is aware of the systems and routines. The kids are respectful, they got it together. The families are working alongside with me, just all in partnership. However, this year things were a bit different. Not necessarily in my classroom, but like across the grade level, the children were just different. Something during the pandemic, they came back way overexposed, curious about things that were just not developmentally appropriate. Just the things that they were aware and curious about really just broke my spirit. Even a fight or tussle amongst students or with a student and an adult, it would just really upset me, and it was hard to get over. Mind you, I didn't have any actual fights in my classroom, and no students tried to come at me disrespectfully, but just knowing that it was happening to my colleagues was just almost too much. I was undone. As a teacher, I think you kind of get immune to like the severe discipline problems in a way, not in a way that you don't care anymore, but you understand it's the nature of being a teacher, and you know, you got to do restorative conversations or circles or do some kind of social emotional learning to help curb that in the future. But post-pandemic, Mrs. Taylor was just really struggling. I think the pandemic just took away my immunity. I was distraught. Suddenly, it's like I had more empathy than what was necessary just to be a teacher. Let's be clear, all teachers need empathy, but you also need a really strong backbone to deal with the type of things that we see in the classroom and in the school building. You need to be able to deal with the unexpected and even deal with things that are outside of typical developmental appropriateness. Just due to the varying home life of children, I just no longer had that backbone. I I don't know, I was soft, I was just unable. All I wanted to do was save the babies, and when I couldn't, I was just really undone. Everything just lingered in my spirit a lot longer than it ever used to, especially my discomfort with the loss of innocence that children have experienced during the pandemic. This past school year, I just witnessed things that I never thought that I would witness. Even as a 6th grade math teacher, for 11-year-olds, I just witnessed more than I think was necessary, and it really hurt me to my core. I could just no longer objectively respond and make a plan about a restorative circle or relationship. I was upset about it and just couldn't move past the shock, I think. Anyways, by January, it became so bad that my primary care physician put me on medication for postpartum depression. Mind you, my youngest was 1.5 at that time. Postpartum depression typically takes place within the first 12 months after having a baby, and each month that goes by, the chances of getting postpartum depression, it just gets lower and lower. So at this point, I've talked a lot about how this last school year really affected me and all the things that prompted me to starting my journey out of the classroom. This image is of a lot of the thoughts that go through a mother's mind that has postpartum depression. To be honest, I don't think I had postpartum depression. I think I had post-pandemic teaching depression, but that, coupled along with having a baby recently, may have contributed to my severe mental decline. Please, please, please reach out to a professional if you think that you are struggling with thoughts about yourself or anything around you and just feeling really low and sad. Please do so. The rest of this video is going to explain that this is just part 1 of my journey. The next video is part 2 that explains my job search, how I landed and decided to go with Scrum after teaching, all the way to when I got my first job. Talk to you guys soon. Alright, well, that's part 1 of my Agile story. The next video is going to be with my mentor, Perry Goldman. I'm going to be interviewing him and asking him his Agile story, because a lot of people have been obsessed with figuring out who my mentor is, and if he has time and space for any more people. I'm saying no on his behalf, but you can always reach out to him on LinkedIn. He's very gracious and always willing to help. If you have any questions for Perry, go ahead and drop it in the comments. But for now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a Scrumtastic day. Bye.